Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Lavinia and I post beauty videos regarding makeup and skincare 3 times a week, every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd love for you to join my channel by hitting the big red subscribe button. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about some things that no one talks about regarding acne, or I just find is not talked about enough when it comes to acne. So if you don't know, I have suffered with acne since I was 13, starting with hormonal cystic acne. I had it all, and I've also experienced really intense scarring. My skin is very sensitive and therefore scars really easily, and even though over the years I have figured out a way to kind of control my skin better and learn from it more, I still get acne on a regular. Not as much as I did maybe before, but it's still a regular thing that's part of my life, and I really enjoy making these types of videos to not only let you guys know about what I've gone through, but also connect with you guys and share my experiences and what I've learned throughout the years, and just connect with others going through the same thing. So Cassandra, if you don't know who that is, she's amazing. She's a skincare guru. She's also an acne sufferer, and she makes a lot of really great informational content. She posted a video similar to this. I'm pretty sure it's called like 5 things no one tells you about acne. I will link it down below in the description. Her video actually got me thinking about a bunch of stuff that I have personally felt like people don't talk about, that I've experienced. And although there were things that she mentioned in her video that I agree with, there's also other things that I have experienced that are a little bit different. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. So let's get right on into it. Here are some things that no one talks about when it comes to acne.
Oh, you tell me stories, you tuck me in, and the second you leave, I call you right back to check for monsters in my sheets.
Alright, so first things first, no one really talks about how complex I feel like sometimes it is to treat. And I've really noticed this from being on apps like TikTok in this last year recently. I see a lot of people post their transformation videos of their skin, and they show their skincare routine and saying that this skincare routine changed their life, changed their skin, changed everything, or this medication or diet or whatever it is, whatever change they made in their life, that's what really helped their skin out. And I wanted to talk about this because I feel like a lot of people show what changed their skin and not everything else that went into it prior to that one thing working. As someone who has been testing products since they were 13 years old, I have tested so many different products, and I can tell you right now, it is not a one product and done type journey. This can take years to get to, and even myself, I feel like I've gone to a place where I understand my skin a lot, but I'm still learning each and every day. I still get acne. My skin will never be perfect. But having this illusion of seeing all these people with their progress videos and showing that one product that worked for them, I feel like can be a little bit dangerous, since no one really talks about the whole process that went behind all of that. So I really wanted to point that out today. And if you know in the future you see these types of videos, just know that a lot of different processes might have went into testing before that individual found their perfect product, or not. Some people get lucky and find it right away, but not everything is going to work for everyone, and I think that's really important to understand and really important to realize that treating your skin can be a very long and tiring process overall. The second thing I want to talk about is makeup and how this can kind of affect you. And for me, I have always loved makeup. I started out with mainly makeup here on my channel, and I've kind of evolved into makeup and skincare. I just want to say that even though I always loved it, every time I put it on, even though I used it as a way to cover my acne and help me kind of, you know, build up my confidence just a little bit more so that that redness and inflammation wasn't all out, it also kind of almost made it worse some days. And I feel like this is the part no one talks about. Everyone talks about how makeup can be really good as a coverage option, or a way to kind of just make you feel a little better that day when you're maybe having a really bad breakout. Some days my face would be so bad and I'd have so much acne, especially in my mouth portion here, that's where I usually break out, that putting on makeup almost made it worse for me, because no matter how much I put on and how good I got with my technique to make sure I covered it well and that it was not looking too cakey and stuff. Up close in a mirror, you could still see those bumps underneath, and that really bothered me because it felt like it just looked like so much piled on top. And even though the redness was gone, I could still see everything underneath texture wise, and that really bothered me. And then I would see, you know, some other people with maybe more clear skin than me or more smooth skin than me, and when they'd apply their makeup, it looked so beautiful, and I'm like, why can't my skin look like that when I apply my makeup? So although I think it's a really great tool to have, I also think it's very important to not let it get the best of you, as it did with me. And I also started loving my skin a lot more this past year without any makeup on, and just embracing my skin as it is. And even though I love playing with makeup still and I apply it on a regular basis, I just feel like the idea of using it as a coping mechanism isn't always talked about, and how it can actually make things worse. So I think that's a very important point to bring up. And if you're someone who's maybe struggling with that, feel free to send me an email or comment down below, or direct message me on Instagram. My handle is Lavinia Rasanda on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and we can kind of work through it, because that's something that I really learned to manage this past year. All right, next thing I want to talk about is how complex acne is and how everyone is so different. Now, I know as someone who has struggled with acne that it can be very frustrating when people start giving you suggestions, unless you're looking for them yourself, right? If you're searching up about a product on YouTube or looking at product reviews, you are looking for that help and looking for suggestions. But when you're just talking to someone and they say, oh, you know, I use that one cleanser and it works perfectly for me, I never get acne, you should try it out. And in your mind, you're like, I've literally tried every single cleanser at the store, nothing has worked, right? It's very frustrating to hear that constant suggestions when you've literally tried everything. And I think that's something a lot of people don't talk about, not just people who have acne, but also people who don't, and maybe are into skincare as well. I think it's very important to realize that your skin is very different from others, and not to jump to conclusions and pinpoint maybe the reason you think that they have acne or a certain skin issue, because it's so complex. I know for myself, my hormones play a big role in how my skin is doing, and stress is the #1 factor for me. Whereas for someone else, it could be food, it could be exercise, it could be a product they're using, it could be lack of sleep, it could be genetic, it could be anything. So I think it's really hard to not only give I think it's very silly almost to give someone a suggestion unless you're like a dermatologist and know a lot, or you have a very similar issue to them and you've learned about their story and stuff. And not only that, but you yourself, if you have acne, it's very hard to pinpoint that issue. And I feel like, again, that's something people don't talk about, because as I kind of mentioned earlier with the skincare journey, you're like, oh, this worked for me. But I think various products work for different people because everyone is different, or various routines. So for me, what really helps my skin is de-stressing, getting enough sleep, making sure I'm not driving myself crazy with overloading myself and putting too much on my plate. And I think working to find that core issue for yourself is really important, but it could also take a lot of trial and error, like cutting out certain things in your diet and really progressing your results. I know exercise is a great help for me. And also just learning more about my skin and what products actually work for me. And if you guys want me to make more videos about that, I definitely can go more in depth with that in another video. Next thing I want to talk about is people with dry skin don't get acne. And this is something I really want to talk about, because I feel like most of what I hear about on the internet is I have oily skin and I break out a lot. My skin produces too much oil and I break out. I don't really hear as much about people with dry skin who have acne, and I think that's also an industry thing, because a lot of the acne skincare products you see out there are more targeted towards oily skin, or they have ingredients in the products like salicylic acid, AHAs, BHAs, and really, I would say, more harsh active ingredients that can potentially strip your skin if not used properly. Or you have toners with like witch hazel in them, which of course is supposed to help with oil reduction and stuff, and I find those are the types of products that are targeted towards acne. But what that can really do is overstrip your skin. And I think that's what I was doing for many, many years. That was just making my skin a lot worse because I was overstripping my skin with all these harsh acne labeled ingredients. And what I was doing was not only ruining my moisture barrier, but just overstripping my skin to the point where my skin had to produce more and get overworked. And that really caused me to have more acne, have my scars settle in a lot deeper and faster since I wasn't giving my skin the moisture it needed to heal. So I think it's very important to kind of distinguish having acne from having oily skin and really realize that all skin types can have acne, and that I think that's something also in the industry that should be recognized, that these harsh ingredients can actually be very stripping to people's dry skin, and I think that should definitely be recognized. And the last thing I want to talk about is the really big difference between treating acne and treating scars. And I think a lot of times these products that are targeted towards acne as a whole are those stripping and drying ingredients, whereas for scarring you need to give your skin that moisture and nourishing it needs to heal itself. So I think treating the both is very hard to do at once, and if you're someone like me, you have acne and acne scarring at the same time, so finding that balance in your routine is very hard, I find, and it's something a lot of people don't mention. Also, the fact that scarring is very difficult to heal, and it takes a long time to even remotely see differences in your scars and reduction in redness and all of that. And I think that's somewhere that people talk about how bad acne is and how red and inflammatory it is, and of course it's so painful, especially the type of cysts I get are super painful. But the scarring left behind can sometimes be worse because it's so hard to get rid of, and a lot of the times it'll just be there for years and years and years, and you'll be staring at it all the time. So I definitely think that is something that needs to be realized. Alright guys, so that is all for this video today. I hope that this was at least helpful, or maybe just a good discussion point for some of you guys. Again, if you want to talk about any of this stuff, make sure to go in the comments and we can all chat about it. Or if you do want to talk to me privately, you can email me at elrasonda@yahoo.com, or you can follow my TikTok or Instagram and privately DM me on there. They are both Lavinia Rasonda. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to turn on my post notifications so you get notified every single time I upload a new video. But yeah guys, that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Oh, you tell me stories, you tuck me in